to come down. But look, there's a lot more to go. The oil price has fallen dramatically over the last couple of weeks again, and I would expect and will continue to put pressure on the oil companies to make sure that those falls are passed on at the pump over the next few weeks. I think there's more good news for consumers over Christmas and into the new year. I'm satisfied that the fall in oil prices is starting to be passed on to consumers, and that is good news. But the price fall has been so dramatic that there is a lot further to go before the low oil prices are fully reflected in the price at the pump. I will continue to put pressure on the oil companies to make sure that every penny is passed on to consumers, and I would expect to see further falls in fuel prices in the new year. Well, throughout this Parliament we have got rid of the fuel duty escalator with frozen fuel duty. Actually, the price of a litre of fuel by April next year will be 20 pence a litre less than it would have been if we'd kept with Labour's plans. But the fuel companies have a responsibility too to make sure that the dramatic falls in fuel oil prices are passed on at the pumps. That's something I'm going to make sure that they do. And we're going to have to make sure too that other organisations like airlines pass on the big cuts in oil prices too. This should be something that's benefiting consumers across our whole economy, and we need to make sure that that benefit is felt to the maximum to help our economy grow.
Issue of fairness for all the people of the United Kingdom. Just as the people of Scotland will have more power over their affairs, so it follows that the people of England, Wales and Northern Ireland must have the opportunity to have a bigger say over theirs. The Wales Bill has completed its final stages in Parliament, and the Secretary of State for Wales is leading a cross-party process to move towards a fair and lasting devolution settlement for Wales. The Northern Ireland Secretary is hosting talks on a number of issues, including reforms to make the devolved institutions work more effectively. Depending on progress, in particular putting the executive's finances on a sustainable long-term footing, the government stands ready to introduce legislation to devolve corporation tax, with a view to seeing it on the statute book during this Parliament. Today's command paper covers proposals on decentralisation within England and proposals on English votes on English laws. It sets out the position of each of the coalition parties, just as the command paper on Scotland did for 3 parties. We invited the Labour Party to submit their own proposals for publication, but they declined to do so. Mr. Speaker, the Scottish Secretary has been able to work on Scotland on a cross-party basis. The talks held by the Secretary of State for Wales have been on a cross-party basis. It is only on matters concerning England that the leadership of the opposition are hostile to cross-party talks. However, the contribution to our thinking by leaders of local authorities, including from the Labour Party, has been welcome and constructive. There has been a significant shift in where power resides in the United Kingdom in recent years. Since 2010, the government has undertaken the most radical programme of decentralisation within England in a generation. In addition to the significant new powers for local communities, there are now 5 combined authorities, 15 directly elected local authority mayors, a metro mayor in London, and plans for a metro mayor to be elected for Greater Manchester in 2017. The Regional Growth Fund, Growth Deals and Growing Places Fund have been made available to all local areas. This summer, the government set out plans to create a northern powerhouse and consulted on northern futures. Taken together with what we're doing on science and transport infrastructure, this government has the most ambitious and substantial plan for the north of England of any government in decades.